So it says this agreement states that down payment is non-refundable should the buyer decide to cancel the purchase agreement. Down payment goes towards the purchase price of the vehicle. Once the vehicle is decided upon and obtained for the buyer, the remainder of the vehicle balance is due immediately.
And that, according to that document, however, that only time it becomes non-refundable is if it is used towards a purchase. So if you don't make a purchase, then technically it would be refundable. That's
No,
how
if the
it
buyer
reads.
decides to cancel purchase agreement.
Yeah, the purchase agreement is not this. The purchase agreement is the agreement that you bought the vehicle. I mean, it only reads as though once he
It's like we
makes-
don't run into this issue often. The reason he even came to us is because we helped his daughter buy a car.
Right, his daughter bought one through you. I get it. But the thing is, according to that, the way I understand that legally, and listen, I think you went out and you put effort out, and I really like, to feel that you should be rewarded to some extent for going, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want this. That reads as once he signs a purchase agreement for a vehicle, it's at that point that the $1,000 or the down payment becomes non-refundable.
And when you try to do things yourself, you don't learn those things until you run into
Well,
someone
and this is how you learn it.
Exactly.
So
We got it. I'm ready.
we are going to excuse you both while we deliberate.
Okay.
Well, I think we really dug up the issues here. I think initially it seemed a little vague on the surface, but I think we really got into it. And this is the way I'm analyzing it, and I'm open to persuasion if it comes the other way. But look, I think Mr. Cruz did some work and tried to do the job for the plaintiff. But he was aware that the plaintiff was doing his own parallel shopping. And absent a written agreement that specifically spelled out what that $1,000 was to be used for, I have to be guided by the text message. And the text message, as far as I'm concerned, indicates that that $1,000 was to be used for a specific purpose as a down payment. And it wasn't, and according to the text, if it wasn't, it was to be refunded. So therefore, I do think he's entitled to his $1,000.
Yeah, I thought you made a good point, Patricia, about, the notion that if he's spending a bunch of time, he should be entitled to some compensation. But that's just how this business works. He's going to work hard to try to find the lowest priced car in the plaintiff's range, and then he's going to make a big profit on the spread. If he doesn't find it, then he's just out of luck. It's a tough business.
First of all, I think that even if he would have had the plaintiff sign the agreement, I think the agreement does not inure to the benefit of the
100%.
defendant in this particular
That's right.
case.
I agree.
I think that the defendant would have had to return the $1,000 because there was never a purchase agreement. But if you want to even analogize it, a real estate agent will often say to you, if you sell this house yourself, I've gone out there and I've advertised and I've done this and I've shown it, you have to give me at least 1%.
The point is, the real estate agent makes it quite clear that if I do work for you, you're going to pay me for it.
They do.
He was aware. That's why I asked the question, were you aware that he was going to do parallel work? And he said yes, and he didn't make any qualification of that.
But I do think even the defendant understood, based on the terminology in the actual agreement itself, that had the plaintiff signed it, he would have had to give him back the money under these circumstances. Yeah, give the plaintiff back his $1,000.
Okay, great. We have a verdict.
This court is again in session.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Colasso. Thank you, Mr. Cruz. As I told my colleagues during deliberations, we really had to make a deeper dive on this to really get a handle on what the responsibilities of both of you were under these circumstances. Unfortunately, absent a written agreement, we have to go on the basis of, well, what other objective evidence is there that frames the understanding of the parties? And the only thing that I had, and I think my colleagues agreed with, was this email or text from the woman who was working with you at the time, which clearly indicated that if there was no down payment, the money would be refunded, and that was what the plaintiff was concerned about. And the fact that he made you aware that he was going to be looking for a car simultaneously really doesn't support the interpretation that you're placing on the formal agreement that you ordinarily place. So we find in favor of the plaintiff for $1,000.